Imagine this. You finally gathered the courage. You sent a risky text to your crush. They opened it. The check marks turn blue. Your heart does a backflip. But then, 5 minutes pass. A day passes. Nothing. It feels like a bucket of ice water poured directly onto your soul. Why does this silence feel so intensely painful? Why does your brain treat a missing text like a physical assault? Let's look at the brutal psychology behind why your mind is losing its sanity right now. You draft a message. You pour out your thoughts, your vulnerability, or a simple question that matters to you. You press send. The message delivers. 2 gray check marks appear. The digital arrow has left your bow. And then it happens. The check marks turn blue, or the word read pops up with a definitive timestamp. You see the 3 little typing bubbles appear. Your heart lifts. They are replying. But then, the bubbles vanish. Silence. Radio silence. No okay. No busy right now. Just a cold, unyielding digital void. 10 minutes pass, then an hour, then an entire afternoon. It starts as a slight itch of curiosity, but by hour 3, it morphs into a literal knot in your stomach. Your heart rate increases. Your focus evaporates. You try to do something else. You try to work, study, or watch a movie, but your mind is anchored to that unresponsive rectangle. Why does this feel so intensely painful? Why does a lack of a text message trigger a physical stress response? Because to your brain, being left unread isn't just a breach of modern etiquette. It is a psychological attack. The caveman inside your app. To understand this cruelty, we have to look at the software your brain runs on. And that software hasn't been updated in 50,000 years. For your ancient ancestors, belonging to a tribe wasn't a social preference. It was survival. If the tribe liked you, you shared food and protection. But if the tribe suddenly stopped talking to you, ignored your presence, or turned away, it meant you were exiled. And exile in the Paleolithic era meant death by starvation, or predators within days. Because of this, human beings evolved an incredibly sensitive, hyper-reactive alarm system for social rejection. Neuroscientists at UCLA found that when humans experience social rejection, it activates the exact same neural pathways, specifically the anterior cingulate cortex, that light up when you experience physical pain. Your brain literally cannot tell the difference between someone breaking your finger and someone leaving you on read. The emotional wound registers as a physical injury, but being left unread is actually worse than an outright rejection. It introduces a toxic variable that the human brain absolutely detests: ambiguity. The danger of the meaning-making machine. The human brain is a meaning-making machine. It hates empty spaces. When it faces a void of information, it refuses to sit in silence. It rushes to fill that void with an explanation. If someone tells you, "I don't want to talk to you," it hurts, but your brain can process it. The story is finished. But when someone leaves you on read, the story is wide open. Your mind starts generating infinite scripts. Scenario 1. They were in a horrific car accident. Scenario 2. They think I'm incredibly annoying and are laughing at me with their friends. Scenario 3. I said something unforgivable. Because of a psychological bias known as the spotlight effect, we inherently assume that everything revolves around us. We take the silence personally. We assume their silence is a direct commentary on our self-worth. This kicks off a cognitive spiral. You reopen the app. You reread your last message 50 times. You analyze every punctuation mark, every emoji, searching for the mistake you must have made. This destroys your sense of emotional safety. In a healthy relationship, Communication is a predictable game of catch. When they hold the ball and walk away, the predictability shatters. How intensely you suffer under this digital cruelty depends heavily on a psychological framework established in your childhood, your attachment style. If you have an anxious attachment style, being left on rid is your ultimate nightmare. Your brain interprets silence as imminent abandonment. The lack of a response feels like a threat to the survival of the connection. This triggers what psychologists call protest behavior. You double text. You call. You apologize for things you didn't do, all in a desperate bid to force the other person to give you validation and restore your equilibrium. On the flip side, the person leaving you on red might have an avoidant attachment style. When a conversation gets too deep, too heavy, or demands too much emotional energy, their defense mechanism kicks in. They don't ignore you because they hate you. They ignore you because they are emotionally overwhelmed. To them, the text box feels like a demand they don't have the currency to pay at that moment. So they close the app to regulate their own stress. This creates the toxic, anxious-avoidant trap of modern texting. The more one person withdraws to find space, the more the other person panics and pursues, creating a loop that destroys relationships without a single word being spoken. Step 1 is cognitive reframing. You must separate the facts from the fiction your mind invents. The fact is, they read the message. The fiction is, they are doing it to hurt you. Realize that life happens outside the screen. They could be driving. They could be at a grocery checkout. They could have read it, formulated a reply in their head, got distracted by a real-life conversation, and genuinely forgot to type it out. Step 2 is reclaiming your entitlement to your own time. Modern smartphone culture has created a toxic delusion that we owe everyone 24/7 instant access to our brains. We don't. Just because someone can send you a message in 2 seconds does not mean you, or they, are biologically required to respond in 2 seconds. Reclaim the boundaries of asynchronous communication. Do not anchor your self-esteem to an unread notification. Your value as a human being does not fluctuate based on the response latency of another person's smartphone. The next time those check marks turn blue and the silence lingers, breathe. Put the phone down. Go live your real life.